All right, welcome everyone. Today it's not necessarily the reps call, but it's the MDM portal. MDM stands for Mission Driven Mozillians Portal Call. So we combine the Mission Driven Mozillians portal call with the reps call in order to make sure that every single one of you can hear about the new portal. Lucy talked about it a little bit last week, and heads up, but we have today our folks from Playground that they are going to reply to your questions and introduce themselves, most importantly. Right now, we are 20 people in the Zoom room. So welcome, everyone. I'm going to say some names. I see Jason, Alok, Vishal, Kita, Suhail, Manzar, Tunde, Lydia, Obito Darky, Dev, Drew, and I'm sorry if I forgot anyone. And hello to all the people that are watching us via Air Mozilla or YouTube or are going to watch us later. So with that, I am going to give the floor to Mrinalini that is going to do a short introduction and more about what we're talking about when we talk about mission-driven Mozillians, what are going to be the communications, and then Playground will take over. Mrinalini?
Sorry, I was just looking for the mute button. Hi, everyone. I'm Mrinalini. I am the community bridge, and I've been working on the portal for quite some time with Lucy. I just wanted to give like a short update about what the portal is and sort of also just summarizing the discourse post that we put out about how we want to create this collaborative process. So the idea and the vision for this portal is to have a one space for all Mozillians to come together across the world, where they have information about their profiles, where they can learn about other contribution activities, cross-learn from each other, and just find out different groups and just enhance the experience of Mozillians for the great work that's already happening. And in building this portal, we really are excited to make it a collaborative process, and that's going to happen through the discourse tag that we've recently created. So we will have weekly posts going up there on updates of what's been happening with the Playground team, who you will meet shortly. We will have a post with FAQs, just like general questions that are coming up that we answer, and we'll keep populating this as the process goes on. And we will have calls like this, open calls for people to attend, get feedback, and we'll be working a little closer with reps and the groups that are already in the pilot that's been running for about the last year. And the quick timeline for the portal is that the development has already begun. That's really great, really exciting. There's been a lot of prep work going, but now we've actually come into developing the portal. And the estimated release for the V1 is early 2020, so sometime early next year. Yeah, that's basically about the portal. And on the discourse post, we have collected some questions, which we will be answering later in the session in the Q&A. But now I'd like to hand it over to the Playground team to give a little intro about themselves and the work that they're doing.
Hello, my name is Lindsay. I'm a senior designer here at Playground working on the portal.
Hi, I'm Ahmed. I'm here at Playground. Yeah, here at Playground. So
yep, and Drew is also on the call as well. He's the lead developer here.
Hi, everyone.
Yeah. As well on the team, we have a couple of developers who, like Mrinalini said, are actively working on developing the portal, and Ahmed and I are concentrated on the wireframes right now. We just have the V1 low fidelity wireframes, but we're really interested in getting feedback from the community and seeing how we can make sure that we're on the right track, making sure that we're addressing the community's concerns with what can actually the portal, what needs to be in the portal, and yeah, just making sure that we're have everyone's feedback.
Cool. We have some questions in the Etherpad that I will start asking. But before I do so, does anybody in the room want to ask anything? Nope. I guess people do prefer my voice in Etherpad. So I'm going to go with the first question. will community leaders, workers, reps, organizers, / be able to manage their community events, announcements, activities, etc. through this portal? Lucy, do you want to reply to this one?
Great question. Yes. So we were just talking through some wireframes today. So when you create an event, you'll be able to, much like what we have right now in Splash, you'll be able to create events. You'll be able to create groups. If you have a group, you'll be able to host events through your group. And you'll be able to you'll be able to like have people added to your groups as members. We're still working out some of the logistics about how you'll contact those people, whether it's just you'll be able to like get their emails and email them. We might use Discourse for that. Some of it might be enabled through the portal. But largely, we were trying to have this portal empower you as community members to coordinate your own communities and run events that are successful. Do you want me to answer the second part about this, the insights about event registrations, send emails, and contact members? I touched on that a little bit. Event registrations, you'll be able to see how many people RSVP'd for your event. Yes. And I also love the request here about people's birthdays. That's a really cute idea. We had thought about asking people that. Sometimes legal doesn't like us to ask people's age information, but if there's a way to do this, it's a really cute idea. I love it.
Thank you, Lucy. I will just verbalize the questions in case people do not see the questions. The second question that Lucy answered to, it was, will they get access to insights about event registrations, send emails, and contact members to this? The answer is yes. You can see how many people are RSVP'd. And I would love if my community could be reminded about birthdays of its members. Always a great way to celebrate people around you. And Lucy said, yes, that would be lovely, but we have legal and we need to respect legal. So if legal allows us a way to show this, then we will do. There is another question that I can reply. What do we need the third party? Can we develop the portal ourselves? That's a great question. Right now, we don't have enough developers that they can help us with that. The developers inside Open Innovation team are mostly dedicated on IAM and Sumo. IAM is a bigger project that contains Mozillians, for example, and part of the portal is part of the IAM. I will add a link to the wiki. So because we understand how much important this is this portal for you and how much important it is for people that are contributing to Mozilla to find other people and don't need to have like 5 different portals, we decided to allocate money and hire an agency third party that is the folks that are with us right now. Next questions. Once the portal is done, what happened to the Mozillians directory and the reps portal?
Great question. I'll remind people, if you have questions directly for Playgrounds, this is an opportunity to ask those now. Do you want me to take this, Constantina?
Yes, please.
So Mozillians, which is currently our profile manager, is getting its own makeover and reboot as part of the Identity and Access Management program. So Mozillians.org will become people.mozilla.org and will stay a people directory site. So Mozillians is as is. Our goal is in the future, this portal will take advantage of those profiles in what is currently called Mozillians and what will now be called people.mozilla.org in the future, to like share information between the two of them. So your profile in the community portal is connected to your profile in, I'll just call it Mozillians for now. So that's the Mozillian piece. And I know that that's complicated and you're not going to see much of that until 2020. Some of you may have already heard about the people.mozilla.org thing, which currently is staff on it. The second piece about the reps portal, we are working to move all of the reps portal functionality into the community portal so that we're not maintaining 2 community things. The reps program becoming more of a leadership program for mission-driven Mozillians. It makes sense that they're together in the same portal. Also, the reps portal is beautiful, but very old and has some like bugs and issues that mean that it needs some major repair. So working with Constantina to merge that into the portal. Hopefully that answers that question.
Cool, thank you, Lucy. We have one incoming from the Playground team. It says, are you planning to host individual blogs for each profile within the portal?
Individual blogs for each profile? Sorry, I just want to make sure.
Yeah, that is not clear for me. That's whoever wrote this and can hear us. Do you mean blogs or blogs for contributions? A blog that is written as a detailed account for a contribution made by the member. I think that they are asking that if a contributor will be available to have their own blog post inside the portal.
Okay. There's no plans to include that at this time in this stage of the project, but it's something that we could note if it's something that the community is looking for.
I wanted to add on to this that we're still going to use Discourse as it is today, the place where everyone can obviously post their own stuff. But what we could do is give a place on people's profiles where they can link to Discourse for their upcoming blogs, because we already have Discourse as a place where you can do that. But it isn't something we had thought of so far, so it's a really great suggestion.
And we do have community links on the profile, so you can currently link out to a Discourse blog if you want it.
Sorry, go ahead, Kiki.
Yeah, actually, I asked this question in the previous weekly call, but since the playground team is here, I just wanted to ask them directly about the development process. I remember that Lucy mentioned you are going to publish the repo as public repo. So my question is, are you going to allow the Mozillians to actually contribute to the repo? And if you can, like maybe, can you describe the tech stack a little bit so they have an idea like how this is going to be developed?
Hey, I can probably handle that. Yeah, so at this point, like there's still a lot of discovery happening, and I think it's like some of the tools that we're using. Little clarity. Some of the great tools that exist already on kind of like the WordPress ecosystem. There's a great tool called BuddyPress. So some of that work is going to be just like might not really exist in a repo because there is just some configuration that will happen. However, if there is any like kind of new templates or new functions that have to be created, those will be published to GitHub. So there could be some, community even like involvement there as well. But I think it might also kind of be too early to kind of say exactly what that could look like. But the hope is that, yeah, people can contribute as needed and give feedback as well. I think especially around code reviews, it's a very powerful tool to just make sure that people have that input and they have, making sure that what being delivered is also to the standards of Mozilla and the community. Yeah.
Kiki, did that answer your question?
Yeah, I think so. Thank you, Drew.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I think a lot of it will also take shape like as we kind of get more in the process and figure out what these pieces are and how the tools can be used together. Yeah, the hope is that we do this very much with transparency and get the community involved as much as possible.
I'm sorry, I am typing down the answers so the people who are reading can actually do so. In the meantime, we have a new one. What if the reps community leader in the particular pilot group is inactive for some reason?
Is this a question, sorry, whoever asked, is this a question about will they be able to participate in the portal, or is this about whether they participate in the pilot? Because even if you've been inactive, you can still participate in the portal. Oh, participate in the pilot. Okay, the pilot is a separate kind of like discussion altogether. But essentially, if the group contact is inactive, then we will sort of notice and like either ask them to suggest a new contact, because we're looking at the group contact to be the ones who are sort of where we funnel communication through to the rest of the group. So if the pilot group contact member is inactive, we would request to have a new one for the group to still stay part of the pilot. But the idea of the pilot is to help us figure out what works and what doesn't work in a portal like this, and like really get like closer levels of feedback. So all pilot groups will also eventually funnel into the community portal.
Thank you, Mrinalini. I don't know who wrote that, but did that answer your question? I guess if you're not in the call, we don't.
Yes, they say yes.
Great.
That is good. We have a new one. Can a person or Mozillians right now opt out on the new portal and stay in people.mozilla.org?
Great question. I love this. So you will have to enter the portal separately. So no one on Mozillians/people.mozilla.org will automatically be added to this portal. You will have, if you have a Mozillians portal right now, there'll be a transition process to have your profile end up on people.mozilla.org. Then you will have to say to yourself, hey, I would like to be a member of this portal. And then you will go to create a profile on the portal. It will, in the future, say, hey, it looks like you already have a Mozillians profile. Do you want to just bring that information over here? And you'll say yes. But there will be loads of people on people.mozilla.org who don't want to be in the portal. They're not really interested in community groups or this kind of events. Maybe they're really specialized, and that's totally cool. People.mozilla.org will hold everybody, and this will hold people who are interested in this kind of community engagement. Similarly to the way the Common Voice project, if you go to Common Voice right now, you will have had to create a profile. And in the future, that will also be linked to people.mozilla.org, but you can have a profile on Common Voice and not on people.mozilla.org, and you can have a profile on people.mozilla.org and not on Common Voice. And it'll be the same thing. I hope I didn't just make it more confusing.
Dearest person that asked, is that, was that clear? I
Hello?
don't see. Oh, somebody wants. Yeah, sure. Tunde, go ahead. I love when other people speak except me.
Okay, my question is, will there be a single sign-on for search? You know, because you have a profile on the people.org, and you know, since the portal is kind of like separated, will there be a single sign-on?
So this isn't, I don't know how much we've talked about this with the Playground team. I think we had talked about SSO integration at some point. Playground team, is that on your radar? If not, we should totally have that conversation. It's good fun.
Hey, yeah, Drew again. Definitely. So yeah, we were looking into using currently like how we can integrate some of that SSO work now into hooking into kind of the WordPress account. So yeah, we've been having some conversations with internal development teams at Mozilla around like how we can do that. Again, still in kind of the planning phases, so some of the flow of how that integrates into the accounts is still yet to be determined, but the hope is that absolutely it's there.
Okay, that's fine.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you, Drew and Tunde. Are there any other questions in the room since I don't see something on Etherpad? I know that some people joined a little bit late, so I'm going to give an overview. This is the Mission-Driven Mozillians portal call for those of you who are reps and are wondering why we're talking about this. On the reps call, we decided to integrate those two calls, so we give the chance for every volunteer, reps or not reps, to ask questions at the Playground team. The Playground team is an agency that is going to help us build the Mission-Driven Mozillian portal. That is going to be a one-stop place where people can find about groups, events, activities, and other individuals in their area. So if you have any questions, this is a very nice place to ask the questions. Somebody is excusing themselves from being naive. Nobody's naive. But will the profile on the portal have a label if the person is a rep or a mentor or anything else?
I think I can take this one. So we're going to use groups to indicate this. So reps will be a group managed by like the community managers or council, however we figure that out, to make sure it's got all the reps in it. And then on your profile, it shows what groups you're a member of. So it will show that you're a member of the reps group. If there's like a mentor group, it'll show you're a member of the mentors group. And then if you're also a member of whatever regional communities or a localization community, it'll show that as well. So TLDR, yes, it will be visible on your profile that you are a rep or a mentor, etc.
Cool, thank you very much. We're getting a new one. Will the portal contain open forums? I think that people are very excited about this and they want more and more features.
That's cool. For forums, we're still going to be using Discourse. Like, we don't want to create new tools where we have really good ones. We love Discourse. I think many of you do too. So we'll try and put links to Discourse around the portal, but our forum technology will still be Discourse, discourse.mozilla.org. But I think what I'm hearing here, which is good for our discussion with the Playground team, is just finding more places maybe to be able to link people to Discourse, whether it's like groups want to have their own Discourse category that we could link to, or people want to be able to put links to Discourse. I think that's a really good point. It's great to hear.
Cool. Any other questions? A reminder that there is the developers here, so if you want to have any technical questions or if you have any technical questions, that's a great time to ask.
While people are thinking, I have a question for the Playground team that I think would be interesting to have everyone hear the answer to, which is, what are you most interested in getting out of these kind of regular interactions with the community, whether it be feedback, input? What are you kind of excited about in terms of having this process be run closely with the community?
Yeah, it's really exciting to actually hear everybody's feedback and like how everybody's currently using the platform and like what they would like to hear in like future updates of the platform. Like, for example, like forums and like having blog posts in your profile potentially. Those are all really interesting things. And it also helps us like validate our like current stream of thought by just hearing everybody's input on this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a really unique opportunity for us because we don't always have such direct access to people who are actually using the platform. So it's really exciting for us to be involved in these calls as well and to hear feedback directly from the community. It's a really cool opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you very much all. I am keep checking Etherpad, Discourse post, Telegram, if anybody is pinging me on email in case I did miss any questions. I don't think so. Are there any other questions in the room? You can speak freely. All right, I don't see any other questions. So since nothing else is under on Etherpad, I think that we can close this call. Thank you very, very much, the people who participated in this. Thank you very much, Playground, for taking the time to reply to questions. We will, sorry, there is a question. I just read it. Content of the portal will be strictly restricted to Mozilla-related technologies, or there will be the regular updates of other technologies also?
I'm not sure I understand that question?
I think the question is about what people will be able to report that they are contributing into.
The reporting forms for reps will, I think, stay the same. Like they'll be like the form that you fill out as a rep. Constantina is working on that, and you'll still kind of submit your reports in the same way. For activities and events, we'll have tags that are the contribution areas that you're familiar with. So like coding, testing, localizing, support. We're definitely focused on contributions to Mozilla, but there will be places if you want to share other things that you're doing as well, like in your blog, or if you want to put stuff in your bio that you're also a contributor to like Wikimedia or whatever. Obviously, we like that people are dynamic and do a lot of different things. For events, we'll tell people that we want the events to be relevant to Mozilla at the same kind of criteria we have now. So we want it to be supporting one of Mozilla's like goals and spaces, but there's a lot in that space, even one outside of what Mozilla does. So for example, running a teaching code, that would be okay to have in the events platform. If you're running an event about like painting your nails all together, we might say, no, that's actually really not relevant to this portal. So we would remove that. I think with the same kind of general guidelines that we've always had with these events, systems, and reporting.
Thank you, Lucy. I just asked the person who asked. Yep, that actually asked me the question. So thank you very much. All right, we are on.
Oh, one more.
We have more questions. I like this. What is the backend for the new portal, Playground?
Is that the technology that we want to use? Yeah. Okay. We're looking to keep this in the open source world, so we found that WordPress offers some really great solutions, just kind of out of the box. So, people know typically WordPress as like a CMS for a blog, but it actually is really powerful in other applications, and you can there's lots of great community packages to kind of bend it to our will to make it work. The platform though that we're really actually looking to integrate with on there is something called BuddyPress, and it actually is almost like gives the ability to build a social network. So you can have, of course, have different profile accounts on there. There's a great community as well that adds kind of functionality, so event management as well. And yeah, it is. And I could talk forever about it if I wrote, but really it's like we're using WordPress is the core backend, I guess, if you want to dig into like PHP, MySQL, and then BuddyPress is really doing a lot of the heavy lifting. And just like in WordPress, if you use WordPress before, there's the ability to do templates. BuddyPress extends that as well, so you can do BuddyPress templates, and there's lots of hooks to add BuddyPress functionality to different templates. And yeah, I can probably go more in depth, but I won't, because I think we still have to figure out how we're going to integrate with a lot of the services. So for example, I mentioned before, like single sign-on is something that we want to use, and we're looking to say, like, how can we integrate that and actually have users generate different accounts, and what permissions can we assign to them as they log in. But yeah, that is really kind of like what that work is right now. And the design team at Playground is actually kind of using the functionality of what exists right now in BuddyPress to really define what we can, design out of it, and not have to rebuild a lot of stuff to get this out the door. We want to keep it very, very focused. So yeah, I encourage you to just look up BuddyPress, BUDDY press. So yeah.
Cool. Thank you very, very much. I will give one more minute in case other questions come in before I say we need to close this call. All right. In the meantime, I would like to remind you that there is an FAQ and there is a post. We will regularly update the discourse category with updates. And there is also going to be a section on the reps call every week where I will update about regular updates. We won't have the chance to have that kind of call every week. As you understand, it can be a little bit of overkill. However, we will try monthly to have bigger calls about about the community portal and about any major updates that you would like to know. If there are any other questions, please do ask on the discourse post, and Renalyn and I will make sure that we bring those questions to Lucy and the team if they have any. And I will make sure that to give you updates every week. And thank you very much, everyone, for participating and everyone for posting questions. And for those of you who are watching us on Mozillians or YouTube, thanks again, Playground and Lucy and Rilini. I know it's really late, and for the Indonesian folks, it's getting late there. So thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of your day, and hope to see you soon.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, thank you.